What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video, I'm going to be doing a penetration test with my AR-10 chambered in .308 Winchester, and I'm going to be shooting some full metal jacket ammunition at some Douglas fir 2x10 framing lumber that I've screwed together. And the purpose of the test is to see how many 2x10s a .308 Winchester full metal jacket can penetrate through when fired from a 16-inch barrel AR-10. And once we find out how many 2x10s the .308 full metal jacket can penetrate through when fired from a 16-inch barrel AR-10, we can compare those results with other firearms and cartridges I've tested against 2x10s. And to see those other tests, check out my 2x10 penetration test playlist. And the rifle I'm going to be using for this test is my Patriot Ordnance Factory Rogue, which has a 16-inch barrel. And the ammunition I'm going to be using is some M80 ball rounds from PMC, Winchester, Aguila, and Norma. So for the PMC, I'm going to be using their X-Tac line of ammunition. I'm going to be using their 147 grain full metal jacket boat tail M80 ball round with an advertised muzzle velocity of 2,800 feet per second. And out of my 16-inch barrel POF Rogue, I get an average muzzle velocity of 2,556 feet per second. For the Winchester ammunition, I'm going to be using their M80 ball round, which is 147 grain full metal jacket boat tail with an advertised muzzle velocity of 2,800 feet per second. And out of my 16-inch barrel POF Rogue, I get an average muzzle velocity of 2,628 feet per second. For the Aguila, I'm going to be using their 150 grain full metal jacket boat tail with an advertised muzzle velocity of 2,750 feet per second. And out of my 16-inch barrel POF Rogue, I get an average muzzle velocity of 2,571 feet per second. And finally, I'm going to be using some Norma Tactical M80 ball rounds, which are 147 grain full metal jacket boat tails with an advertised muzzle velocity of 2,838 feet per second. And out of my 16-inch barrel POF Rogue, I get an average muzzle velocity of 2,522 feet per second. And the way I set up these 2x10s is I screw them all together. I put one screw in each corner of the 2x10 board, and I screw all of the boards together into a giant block. And after the test is over, I unscrew all the boards to see how many boards the different rounds penetrated through, and then I try to recover the bullets from the wood. And after I recover the bullets, I weigh them to see how much weight they retained. I take a closer look at them to see if they maintained their shape or if they deformed. I also see if they maintained a straight line when they penetrated through the wood or if they veered off course and exited out the side or bottom or top. And I also see what kind of expansion occurred if we're talking about expanding bullets. But in this situation, we're using full metal jackets, so there shouldn't be any expansion whatsoever, but there will be some deformation. And I will be weighing these bullets to see how much weight they retained. And most importantly, we're going to see which one of these M80 ball rounds penetrates the deepest. And we're also going to compare the results of this test with other 2x10 penetration tests I've done with other cartridges and other firearms. And I'm going to be shooting at the 2x10s from a distance of 25 yards. So I hope you enjoy this test. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, and check out my 2x10 penetration tests playlist for all of my 2x10 penetration tests. And also check out my .308 Winchester playlist for all of my .308 Winchester content. Thanks for watching. All right, guys. First shot, PMC X-Tac, 147 grain full metal jacket with a stated velocity of 2,800 feet per second. Let's see what happens here. All right, guys, so now we're going to do the Aguila 150 grain full metal jacket. All right, guys, second shot with the Aguila. Kind of shot out the side, so I'm going to try to shoot in the middle now. All right, guys, so now we're going to use the Norma Tactical 147 grain full metal jacket. All right, guys, so now we're going to try the Winchester 147 grain full metal jacket. All right, guys, I'm going to take another shot with the Norma because the last shot shot out the side. I guess the wood is just really dry, so it's splintering a lot more than normal. So I'm going to take another shot, try to capture the bullet. All right, guys, I'm going to take another shot with the Winchester because my first shot was a little bit too close to the Aguila. So I'm going to take another shot. All right, guys, I have some pretty impressive results to share with you. The Norma Full Metal Jacket M80 ball round penetrated the deepest. It went through 9 and 8 2x10s, followed by the Aguila 150 grain Full Metal Jacket, which penetrated through 8.5 and 6 2x10s. Then the PMC X-Tac M80 ball penetrated through 5 2x10s. And finally, the Winchester M80 ball penetrated through 4.5 2x10s. So pretty impressive results with the Norma and the Aguila. But what's actually interesting is that in the plywood penetration test I did with this same ammunition, actually the PMC penetrated deeper than the Norma, and the Norma penetrated the least out of all of them. So that's pretty interesting. But this is pretty impressive, guys. Penetrating through 9 Douglas fir 2x10s. That is impressive. That is actually the same amount of penetration as my 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum with buffalo bore 440 grain hard cast bear loads with a muzzle velocity of 1,600 feet per second. So the Norma Full Metal Jacket M80 ball round out of a 16-inch barrel AR-10 can penetrate as deep as a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum hard cast bear load. That's pretty impressive. And that's actually more than double the penetration of a 44 Magnum hard cast bear load. So pretty impressive results. Still not as much penetration as a 300 Win Mag or my 416 Ruger Elephant gun. And the 300 Win Mag with 180 grain solids can penetrate through 15 2x10s, and the 416 Ruger Elephant gun with 400 grain steel jacketed solids penetrated through 26 2x10s. So the M80 ball round from Norma out of a 16-inch barrel AR-10 can penetrate 1/3 of what an elephant gun can penetrate, but still 9 2x10s, guys. That's very impressive. I honestly think that this would be adequate bear medicine for somebody that hunts with an AR-10 chambered in .308. You could mix in some of these Full Metal Jacket rounds in with your hunting rounds in case you run into a bear and you need a lot of penetration. And what was impressive about the Norma was that it kind of maintained a straight line. It did exit out the side. It penetrated through 9 boards and it exited out the 9th board before it could penetrate through the 10th. And a lot of these Full Metal Jackets exited out the side or tumbled, and that's typical with Full Metal Jacket ammunition. It's designed to tumble. It doesn't have a flat nose. It has a pointed nose, which gives it better ballistics coefficient, but it's not good for maintaining straight line penetration. So I want to just show you guys up close the damage that was done to the wood, and I'm going to try to recover these bullets now and take a closer look at the bullets and weigh them and see what kind of weight retention these bullets have and how they deformed. So stay tuned. All right, guys, so we're looking at the side of these 2x10s, and here you can see where the Norma Full Metal Jacket exited. You can see it exited between the 9th and 10th board here, okay? So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and then 10. So you can see here it kind of exited right where the 9th and 10th board meet, okay? And it took a huge chunk of wood with it. When it exited out the side, it just blew a huge chunk out. But pretty impressive penetration. You can see this was the entrance hole here, okay? So it went straight through and it veered out to the left and exited out the left. So it pretty much maintained mostly a straight line. It just kind of veered off to the left and exited. And then here we have the Aguila Okay, you can see it went through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it exited out the 6th board. Okay, look at that huge hole it left right there. It's pretty big. And it just took out a huge chunk of wood with it. Look at that. That is just crazy. Just blew a huge chunk of wood out from the side. That is just crazy. So I'm just going to go through these boards one by one so you guys can see the damage that these M80 ball rounds did to the wood. All right, guys, so here we have the Winchester up here, Aguila, the 2 Aguilas right here. We have 1 PMC here. We have the 2 Normas here. And we have another Winchester here. This is a 4570. You can ignore that. I used this same wood to do a 4570 test. So here's the first block. And I'll show you guys the exit holes on the first block here. Okay. This was from the 4570 test, so just ignore that. But most of the holes are pretty small, okay, with the exception of the Winchesters. And the Winchesters had the highest velocity out of all of these rounds, and I think that's why they penetrated the shallowest, because they were going too fast. And when you push a bullet too fast, if it's not strong enough, it's not going to penetrate. It's going to deform, and you're going to run into problems. So here's the first board. Here we have the second board here. Okay, clean holes. They all penetrated through. Pretty big hole from the Winchesters. Okay, Winchester 1, Winchester 2. Okay, look at that 4570 hole for comparison. And then here are the exit holes on the second board. Look at these 2 Winchesters, how big those exit holes are just on the second board. And the rest of them just punching clean holes here. And here we have the third board, which just got completely busted. Okay, look at that. But look at this huge hole from one of the Winchesters, just absolutely massive hole. Here's another big hole from the Winchester. Okay, and these Winchester full metal jackets are just poor penetrators in all the penetration tests I've done. Look at this huge exit hole from the Winchester. Look at that, guys. That's a full metal jacket that did that, okay? That is just crazy. But these Winchesters are poor penetrators because I think the bullets they use are just kind of lower quality. They're not tough, and they end up deforming. And because they're going at such a high velocity, they deform easily. Look at that wound channel in the wood there. Look at the devastation in that wood, okay? So that's board number 3. Here we have board number 4, okay? Look at the 2 Winchesters, huge holes here. Look at that, guys, just absolutely massive. PMC and all the others, Aguila, Norma, still passing through. You can see the PMC starts tumbling here, okay? It's sideways at this point a little bit because of that keyhole in the wood, all right? And let's just check out the exit holes in the 4th board. You can see that keyhole from the PMC. The 2 Winchesters, huge holes from the Winchesters, okay? And the Aguila is starting to tumble a little bit. You can see it's got a pretty big hole there, all right? Here we have the 5th board. You can see the 2 Winchesters here. We have our Aguila here, PMC here. These are the 2 Normas. Look at the Normas compared to the PMC, the Aguila, and the Winchesters. They're just still going in a straight line, straight through the wood, nice clean holes. And actually here we have 1 bullet, okay, right there, stuck in the wood. All right, that's our PMC, all right? And we're going to try to pull this guy out. You can see it's pretty deformed, okay? Check that out. And then the 2 Winchesters here are stuck in the 5th board, okay? So 4.5 boards for the Winchester, So I'm going to try to pull those out. And here we have the 6th board, okay? And that's where one of them exited out the side. That was the Aguila. One of the Aguilas exited out the side of the 6th board. All right, look at that huge chunk of wood it took with it. Look at this dent here from the PMC. Pretty crazy. The Normas are still penetrating through. Nice clean holes there. And then we have an Aguila still penetrating through. Here we have the 7th board. We have the 2 Normas here and 1 Aguila there. Okay, nice clean holes. Look at that. Clean exit holes still passing through. And here we have the 8th board. You can see the 2 Normas here, the Aguila there. And this is pretty interesting. I was a little bit confused. I wasn't sure which one penetrated the 8th board or not. But this one is actually one of the Normas. And when it came in, it kind of like shot up this way. And it bent on the side there. Okay, look at that, how it just bent. That's just absolutely crazy. And then here we have one of the Aguilas. And the Aguila kept penetrating. And it got stuck in the 9th board. Okay, about halfway through the 9th board, so 8.5 for the Aguila. All right. And then the Norma blew out the side of the 9th. Okay, and here's the exit hole. Okay, you can see it's pretty much at the back of the 9th. That's why I said the Norma penetrated through 9, because it cleanly penetrated through and shot out the side. So I'm going to recover these bullets now, and we're going to take a closer look. So stay tuned. All right, guys. So here we have the bullets. I want to just weigh them for you. So here we have the Norma, and you can see it didn't really deform much at all. It just deformed a little bit, but you could see the base flattened out quite a bit, but not as bad as the Aguila, Winchester, or PMC. So you can see it kind of flattened out and got bent a little bit, but not as badly as the Aguila. Look at the Aguila. The Aguila was just basically bent into a 90-degree elbow compared to the Norma. So a lot of that has to do with alloy materials and jacket thickness. If, let's say, Aguila didn't use a super thick jacket and Norma had a thicker jacket, that's why you would have this kind of deformation here. But look at the base. The base just completely flattened out. But still pretty impressive penetration from the Aguila and the Norma 8 and 9 2x10s. So when these things tumble, guys, this is 150 grains. So when this thing tumbles inside of living tissue, it does a lot of damage. So, but look at that, how it just got flattened out. It's pretty crazy. There's the boat tail, just completely flattened out. So let's weigh the Norma first. Wow, guys, 100% weight retention, 147.1 grains. That is just impressive. Now let's weigh the Aguila. Only lost 0.8 grains, guys. That is really impressive. Wow. And again, very close distance, only 25 yards away. As you increase the distance, you're going to have higher weight retention and less deformation because the velocities are going to be lower. Here we have the PMC, and the PMC, I actually broke the nose when I was trying to get it out of the wood. So you can see there's the nose right there, and here's the rest of the bullet. Okay, I basically broke it when I was trying to get it out, but it actually retained a lot of its shape otherwise. Okay, you can see it didn't really deform that much. So pretty impressive. Okay, let's weigh this sucker. 146.1, so it only lost about 1 grain. That's really good. And finally, the worst performer here is the Winchester. And here's one of the Winchesters. And you can see it's just a mangled mess inside of this 5th board. Okay, look at that. I was going to try to dig it out, but I didn't want to spend an hour trying to pull that thing out. It's just a complete mess. Look at that, guys. It looks like a hollow point. This is what hollow points do. They just basically kind of explode. Look at that. Just terrible for a Full Metal Jacket. So Winchester gets a thumbs down. Sorry, Winchester. And here's one that I recovered. And just look at that, guys. I mean, just completely unrecognizable. Granted, this would do a lot of damage to living tissue, this, huge mass of lead just, expanding like that. But still, look at that, guys. Just a complete mess. So let's weigh this one and see what kind of weight retention. 120.8 grains. So it lost 27 grains. That's not good. It's a Full Metal Jacket. It shouldn't do that. So my recommendation, if you're going to be buying M80 ball, stay away from Winchester. Stick to Norma or Aguila, and also PMC. PMC is good as well. So that's pretty much it for this test, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Check out my other 2x10 penetration tests. But I was really impressed by the performance of this M80 ball ammunition. I didn't think it would penetrate 9 2x10s. That's crazy. That's one more board than a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum hard cast bear load. So that's pretty impressive, guys. And that's actually about the same penetration as my 4570 Marlin 1895, which has a 22-inch barrel with buffalo bore 380 grain monometals. I can penetrate through 10 2x10s. And with the 500 grain Barnes Full Metal Jacket, I penetrated through 8 2x10s. So basically the same amount of penetration as a 500 Magnum and a 4570 with bear loads. It's pretty impressive, guys. I wouldn't feel undergunned if I had my AR-10 in bear country loaded with some Full Metal Jackets and controlled expansion bullets, 20-round magazines. I think 20 rounds of 308 Full Metal Jacket on anything will do some serious damage, and quick shots one after another. That would do some serious damage on a charging bear. But that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for watching. Take care. God bless. And don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere.